Hey everybody, welcome to Soundcheck. I'm Scott.
And I'm Joe.
And today we're finishing up our look on the discography of Pantera. We are ending with Reinventing the Steel, and then we're going to hit you with a bonus. We're going to hit you with Damageplan, aka the Pantera album that may have almost been. That being said, before we go any further, I just want to let everybody know I'm getting over a cold. So if you hear any coughing, sniffling, like that,
please comment that down below and point it out every time.
or if you watch me take a sip
of
water, there's a reason why. This is not a goof. This is not a character. I am getting over being sick.
I want a cough and sip compilation made by the audience.
But and speaking of being sick, Reinventing the Steel came out in the year 2000, the final release by Pantera. They would break up not too long after this, which I find hilarious when you know that there's a song in this album called We'll Grind That Axe for a Long Time. The irony was not lost on me. I'm listening to the album, I'm hearing the song, I'm like, what track is this? And I find out the title, and I gotta say, it gave me a healthy chuckle.
Not that song, though.
Yeah, it's okay. Which is the most I can say about this record. I was not a big fan of this record.
Oh.
It did not do it for me. Joe, I don't know if I've ever told you, I know I've mentioned it to Wade. One of my pet peeves on albums is I don't like a lot of talking unless you're doing like skits. And
I don't really like skits.
I'm not particularly fond of them either, but if you're going to do them, you know, that's where... I'm not against them. But I don't like a whole lot of talking. To me, it comes off as either just cheesy or lame. Most of the time. Like, I'll give you a great example. The end of Girls, Girls, Girls by Motley Crue. I hate the end when they start talking.
I forgot that they start talking at the end.
Well, there you go. You learned something here.
I blacked that out of my mind.
But yeah, so as far as this album goes... I feel like there was a decent EP here, but I don't think there was a full-length album here. As far as quality.
The quality is certainly dropped, like, in regards to totality of the songs. Yeah. I still think there's some really good songs in there. And I think there's some, stuff you could just, trim the fat.
I think there's two
retreading old stuff.
There's two really good songs. There's a bunch of okay songs. That's just how I feel. But, like, it's one of those things where, given the quality of what you're used to with them, okay is not good. You know what I mean? Okay, for a regular band, okay is fine. For a band like Pantera, okay is kind of like, were you even trying?
I mean, it sounds like a band on its last album.
Yeah, and the worst part of it all is, see, in most albums, particularly during the Phil Anselmo era, because this is when Dime really explored his guitar work. Nothing against Phil, it's just that's when he was exploring his guitar work.
And you could leave the lyrics to Phil, because Phil was a much better lyricist than Terry Glaze.
Yes.
And everybody else had to kind of chip in on that.
But during that time, whenever a song felt like not quite like right or not quite good or up to par with other stuff.
Are you talking about the very Link?
Sure. But that was the thing. Like, if the rest of the song wasn't particularly great, you knew you could rely on Dime's guitar work to kind of save it. This album didn't do that.
Yeah, he's really pushing his sound in a direction that doesn't allow him to really shine for the most part. I'm
going to be real. I think this is, guitar-wise, this is Dimebag Darrell's worst album. I think this is, again, I know I'm going to get shit for saying that because he's dead and he's a legend, and don't get me wrong, I love Dime, but I really feel like everybody kind of phoned it in on this album.
What's your best song?
Revolution Is My Name. Is the best song on this album.
It's a great song.
Number 2 would have been Goddamn Electric, but that's not saying much. But no, I really like this song. I thought this was the one example where I thought all 4 members of the band pulled their shit together, made a really good song. Phil sounded like he was actually trying to sing and not just like scream and talk. Now granted, this may have been after he had the biggest back surgery in the history of back surgeries, but it was like the one song where I really felt like they enjoyed doing it. You know, you could definitely feel a sense of that's the best way to describe it. There was a sense of pride that you felt in this recording that wasn't on, I think, any of the other songs. Like, it's almost like I feel like they recorded this song first. With the intent of it being where it is on the album. But I feel like they recorded this one first.
Yeah, probably.
And then something happened, and they all got pissed off at Phil. And so Phil's like, fuck it.
Well, there's that story from, like, Behind the Music, where, like, Phil started cutting all his vocals in New Orleans away from everybody.
Oh, it shows.
And I feel like this song was one of the very, very few, if any other ones, like, that everybody was kind of together.
Yeah, and even if these were also recorded in New Orleans, like, again, it definitely gives off a vibe that they were all together. What about you? What's your favorite song on the album?
That one's definitely one. I liked Yesterday Don't Mean Shit, but I also really liked You've Got to Belong to It. And really,
was fine.
I like Yesterday Don't Mean Shit because it's one of those few Pantera songs with a fairly positive message.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know what, yesterday already happened, man. We gotta just keep going.
Yeah, you know what? I was a little harsh on that song at first, but but thinking about, like, the tone and how not often they do songs, like, you know what?
Yeah.
Yesterday Don't Mean Shit gets a pass for me. That's on the list. 3.
You've Got to Belong to It. I really dug it. Particularly the really percussive refrain. Where they, you know, stop and start with the staccato, you know, during the "You've Got to Belong."
Yeah,
to it.
Yeah, that was
like it's just one of those things that gets you know, my head moving.
Yeah,
it's very percussive in that way. And you want to talk about, you know, the pride showing? Like, it's not part of my best, but I'll cast a shadow. They literally talk about how their legacy is going to extend forever.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's that pride.
Well, I'll say this: while they may not be grinding that axe for a long time, they were right about their legacy.
All right. Speaking of grinding that axe for a long time, what's your worst song?
This is kind of like when we were doing AFI, where, like, even, like, they didn't really have bad songs. They just had songs that weren't that particularly good.
You want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll probably agree.
We'll Grind That Axe for a Long time was one of the worst songs on this record.
I didn't want to say it because I had a feeling. I mean, I don't think that's my worst, but I'll pick it. I'll go with you on that one because I really got nothing as far as worst.
Yeah,
like, nothing on the album was particularly bad, but I'll agree.
There's a couple more. Uplift wasn't that good, and It Makes Them Disappear wasn't that good.
Yeah, I didn't like It Makes Them Disappear.
Yeah, those were not good songs. You know, they could have been way better.
Did not feel that. But no, we'll grind that axe for a long time. Again, it's one of those songs where, like, I feel like I don't think I can enjoy it as much as I would have when the album came out because of the hindsight. You know, it's one of those songs where, for me,
the song isn't that good either.
No. But I mean, like, it's like the song's already not that good, but then when you factor in that they did not grind that axe for a long time,
well, Phil has
afterwards,
and then you have Vinny who went into Hell Yeah after Damageplan.
I believe you mean Hell Yeah. Yeah. You gotta put some oomph into it when you say it.
But yeah, so where does this fall in your Pantera album ranking?
All right, so my lack of enjoyment of this record is where it's going to get controversial.
Okay.
Because we're going to have a first.
Okay.
We're going to have a first on this show. So number
I don't
one.
know what the first is.
So number one is Cowboys from Hell.
The first time we had like 8 albums or 9
No.
albums.
You'll know. No. You'll know. You'll see.
All right.
Number 2, Vulgar Display of Power.
Okay.
Number 3, The Great Southern Trendkill. Number 4, Far Beyond Driven.
Yeah.
Number 5, Power Metal.
Okay. I'm not that surprised.
Number 6, Reinventing the Steel. Number 7, I Am the Night. Number 8, Metal Magic. And number 9, Projects in the Jungle. Yes, a pre-Cowboys from Hell album was better than one of their post-Cowboys from Hell albums. Well, in my opinion. That's the first.
Again...
And I didn't expect that going into this show.
I think it gets a pass because it's also an Anselmo record. Like, if it would have been one of those Terry Glaze records, I think you would have people burning down, you know, their neighborhoods.
Would you dare say it would set a Terry blaze?
Yeah, it would set a Terry blaze with Metal Magic. But my rankings is Cowboys from Hell, Vulgar Display of Power, Far Beyond Driven, then Vulgar Display of Power, then Great Southern Trendkill, then Reinventing the Steel, then Power Metal.
I still don't understand
then
that.
Projects in the Jungle, I Am the Night, and Metal Magic. I actually like Reinventing the Steel. I admit that it's a worse record, but I actually like it.
Oh, I gotta... Okay, because I know we got a bonus record we're doing since there
we're doing a Damageplan record.
Yeah, since there were only 9 Pantera records, we thought to even this out. And as I said before, when the hell are we going to get to talk about this?
Yeah.
So we're going to just briefly go over... No, there's no best, no worst. You know, we're just going to talk about the album. Newfound Power by Damageplan.
Can I start with the Newfound Power Damageplan record?
Sure, go ahead.
I thought it was awful.
Really?
Yeah, I thought this was incredibly a generic nu metal record with Dimebag Darrell and Vinnie Paul on it. In fact, I go so far as to say that this is a proto Hell Yeah record because it sounds like on certain tracks that they needed Chad Gray to make it a decent track.
Well, fun fact, the bass player from Damageplan was on the first Hell Yeah record.
I know.
So
I bought the first Hell Yeah record.
So there you go. I think Wade had the first Hell Yeah record at some point in his life.
I've been needing to get this off my chest for a while. That Damageplan record was it's not good. The lyrics are they're Terry Glaze era lyrics. They're super...
Well, you know Terry Glaze ghost wrote the album.
Yeah, they're super, like...
He wrote it as Barry Blaze.
It's super bitter, and, like, half these songs are about Phil. Like, it's so weird. And I'm just like, guys, fucking get over it and make good music. And they just don't. It's a generic nu metal record with Dimebag Darrell on guitars. And
I'll say this,
and that's what hurts, because I think Dimebag could have put in a much better record on here. Yeah, and I don't, you know, I have to come in strong because somebody has to. That record is not good.
I thought it was okay.
No, wasn't even.
Okay, here's why I thought it was okay. First of all, it was kind of refreshing not hearing Phil.
It's true, but he's not nearly as talented.
No. I can't agree with you anymore on that.
Right.
But it was kind of refreshing getting a new take of, because remember the Abbott brothers, they only did fucking Pantera. I mean, yeah, they had that Rebel Beats Rebel record with David Allan Coe. It was them, Coe, and Rex. But
that song, like, because I haven't heard the whole Rebel Meets Rebel record, but the one single they had is light years past anything on this record.
Well, yeah, and like I said, that part of it was refreshing, but again, not great, but refreshing. So it is kind of interesting hearing like almost like an alternate take on, you know, what they usually do. It did feel, you know, having listened to 9 Pantera records, for me, it was at least a little refreshing to have something that wasn't like, it was angry and it was aggressive, but it wasn't like super in your face. And I think that's one of the problems with the record, and why I don't think it's great, is for the lyrics that they use, the subject matter that they use, I feel like they could have been more up in your face about it, where like Phil. But in a way, it was kind of, to me, it was kind of nice that they didn't have that. I think the record is way too long for what it is. However,
it's a very long.
However, you know,
every song's like 5 minutes long.
But like knowing that we would lose Dime not long after the record comes out, it's not that bad when you think about it.
No, it's pretty bad.
Well, no, because I mean we got more Dime than expected. You know what I mean? In the long run. And from what I've heard, Vinnie Paul has said that there were like songs for like a second Damageplan album. It was like he did the drums, Dime did the guitar and bass, so they would literally just need vocals, but I don't know if that's even going to happen now that Vinny's dead. But like I said, I thought the album was okay. I think a lot of fat should have been trimmed off it. I think a different singer would have really helped it.
Yeah.
As far as the whole thing with Phil, I mean, there's some things Phil needs to get over too.
No, I'm not excusing him for it, but like, because we're not talking about Phil's record.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is, like, there's
I'll bring it up when we talk about.
But I'm saying, like, there's things Phil needs to get over as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you gotta remember, dude, you're talking about, like, Pantera was a brotherhood. It wasn't just a band. It was a brotherhood. And to feel disrespected and, like, mistreated by a brother, depending on how deep your connection was, like, it hurt. The deeper it is, the worse it hurts. And I think for them, like, that shit really fucking hurt.
Right.
I mean, to the fact that, fucking Vinny kept that shit till he died. You know what I mean? Well, and I'm not saying I'm on one side or the other.
Here's the thing, Scott. Like, I acknowledge that, and I understand it's, refreshing, or it's a taste of something different, and I understand that this is, like, real emotions of theirs. That does not make a good record.
Well, I never said it was good. I said it was okay.
I don't think it's okay.
No. Like, this was one of those records where, like, I listened to it. I didn't really regret it. I didn't wish I didn't do it. Reinventing the Steel, like, towards the end, I did kind of regret listening to it. I was like, man, if this was just the first half, I'd have been fine.
I completely...
Like I said, there's a decent EP in there, but I don't know.
I'm completely flipped. Like,
I feel like...
you think that Reinventing the Steel was a step down, and this is half a flight down, man. Like, it's nowhere near
I don't consider this
anywhere...
Well, no. I don't... Well, you gotta remember, Pantera, I consider Reinventing the Steel a step down because of where we've come from with the previous couple albums. This I consider a step to the side. This is like, they're trying to do something different, but by doing it, they kind of, like, took away what made them interesting, And it was basically like, listen to this album because it's got Vinny and Daryl. Not listen to this album because it's good. It's just like, hey, you like Pantera? These guys were in Pantera. Listen to this band. Whereas something like Down or Superjoint, and the second Arson Anthem record, because that first Arson Anthem record sucks dick.
Whereas that one Soundcheck.
Whereas that, well, no, I decided we're not gonna, when we get it, we're gonna get into the Phil records. He has enough side projects that only lasted like a couple records where, fuck that. Down, Superjoint, Phil Anselmo and the Illegals, Arson Anthem, we're doing them all. We're gonna do them all. We're gonna rank all of Phil Anselmo's non-Pantera.
Like Metallica said, we're gonna kill them all.
Yeah.
We're gonna kill them all.
But at least with Phil, like Phil cared. It seemed more like, listen to this band because it's cool.
Yeah.
Whereas with Damageplan, it was, listen to this band because Pantera guys were in it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they never really were able to take off with anything else, because they've done side stuff during Pantera. Mm-hmm. But that's why a lot of their side stuff never really took off, because it was either too close to Pantera or it wasn't Pantera enough. It's like which in a way you kind of feel bad for the Abbots.
Yeah, and there is nobody that wishes that Dime was in Hell Yeah more than I do.
Oh, God, well...
That would have been amazing.
But
we still got some good records out of it.
Well, no, if Dime didn't die, we wouldn't have Hell Yeah. We'd still have Damageplan. And who knows, maybe that second Damageplan record would have, kicked ass. Maybe. Who knows, maybe that first Hell Yeah record was essentially the second Damageplan record. I know you said it was a proto, but...
Because there's songs on there that sound like bad Mudvayne songs on the Damageplan record. And
you brought up Mudvayne.
And I like Mudvayne, and I think, I can hear it. I'm like, okay, if, Chad was on this song on the Damageplan record, and he wrote the lyrics, it would be, substantially better. And that's what got me thinking. I'm like, well, this could have almost been, a Dime in Hell Yeah, but I really hope it wouldn't have turned out like that.
So, in summation, Damageplan, Newfound Power is a very okay record. Or a bad record, depending on if you're like Joe.
Yeah.
So that's going to wrap it up for our look on Pantera and the one Damageplan album. So let us know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell us how you feel about everything, about how you feel about the album, how you feel about the show. Tell us we're wrong. Tell us our opinions are stupid. Tell us, I don't know. Whatever the fuck you want to say.
Maybe your favorite Pantera record's Metal Magic.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't hold it against you.
I might.
But yeah, and don't forget to hit the bell notification, little icon down there, and it'll let you know right away, as soon as it's up, all productions, Condish Productions. So until next time, I'm Scott.
And I'm Joe.
Reminding you that rock and roll never forgets, and neither do we. See you next time.